Welcome to the eSkill webinar, How the City of Cincinnati Improved Recruiting Success and Efficiency. Today's presentation is presented by our 2024 Talent Impact Leaders, Nosa Ekato, an industrial organizational psychologist with the City of Cincinnati, and Jason Culbertson, also an industrial organizational psychologist from the City of Cincinnati. We are thrilled to have you here with us. And with that, on the next slide. This webinar is meant to answer these questions. Are you struggling to handle a large number of candidates for different kinds of roles? Whether you're in a municipality or in a company or a nonprofit, this webinar will help answer that question. If your current skills testing or assessment process is cumbersome or manual, you're going to learn how to move into the modern age. And this webinar will also help you learn how to innovate your recruiting process to increase your success rates, your placement rates, and increase efficiency. So with that, let me introduce our speakers. On the next slide. Nosa Ekato is an experienced industrial organizational psychologist who has spent more than a decade improving workplace efficiency, developing leadership skills, and promoting employee welfare in all types of organizations. He has a strong history, and we're excited to have him with us. And next, Jason. Jason Culbertson is also an industrial organizational psychologist with a master's degree from Wright State University. He has 18 years of experience in human resources and has applied his expertise to various challenges related to recruitment, selection, class, and compensation, and even union matters. We're thrilled to have both of them with us. They have done a tremendous job for the City of Cincinnati. And with that, I'll turn it over to Nosa.
Thank you. All right, our story. City of Cincinnati processed about 7,000 applications annually with 5,000 candidates taking exams. Services include office support, technical, professional, and leadership positions, serving various departments like water, health, sewer department, finance, public services, fire, and police. Prior to using eSkills, the recruitment assessment process was complex, involving a custom question bank, an outdated scantron system, and outdated test questions, requiring time to address errors and conduct an accurate exam grading. All right, the solution. The City of Cincinnati has utilized eSkills custom questions and talent assessment platform to streamline test development, reduce time spent on custom questions, aid talent interventions, and simplify post-test review. The software also has a built-in feedback feature, which helps us with increasing reliability amongst our test questions by getting candidate feedback while taking the exam. The City of Cincinnati has successfully worked with eSkill to utilize remote proctoring services, and we plan to expand its use.
So some of the takeaways. So we were able to move off of Scantron assessments to the fully automated eSkill assessment system. So eSkill is available 24/7 for us, and it's improved both the candidate and the recruiter experience. We're reaching more candidates with higher response rates to exams. We were at about 30 to 50% response rates on exams. Now we're at 50 to 90% response rates on exams. So two things of note here are that positions that rely on high school students as an applicant pool, an online testing platform is almost a must, because they're just not going to be available to come in and test from 9 to 5 through the school year. So you really want to have some kind of online system for them. Also, in-person testing really assumes that you have a local qualified applicant pool to pull from, but that's really just not the case for a lot of really specialized positions that you might have. eSkill has decreased the development time of exams. eSkill has reduced post-test issues such as challenges, And we see future opportunity for additional remote proctoring. So why eSkills made the difference for us? So we're reaching more candidates with higher response rates to exams. It's reduced technical issues related to exam content. eSkill is a stable online platform, which alleviates worries about technical difficulties that lead to having to make decisions about retesting applicants. So eSkill has NeoGov integration, which is very helpful. If you so choose, you can have the scores auto-populate right from eSkill into NeoGov, which is what most government entities are using. Our life cycle from requisition to list approval is about 5 weeks. So by having those higher response rates, we estimate that we're going through those life cycles an estimated 20 to 40% fewer times. And also our customer service manager, Megan, she's blown us away. She's very knowledgeable and helpful, but also she responds same day, but more often than not, it's within a couple of hours, which is tremendous.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. That really appreciate you sharing the story of how City of Cincinnati has used eSkill. For those of you attending this short webinar, if you have questions, please put them in the chat in the GoToWebinar response panel, and we'd be happy to answer them. We had a few questions submitted in advance of the webinar, and I'll just share those now. So for Nosa and Jason, how did you move from Scantron tests to eSkill's online skills tests?
I could take that. So we transitioned from Scantron to eSkill back in 2019 during COVID. So we needed to have some type of platform where we could continue operations and start testing and fill vacancies. So that process was very efficient. We didn't have a lot of buy-in, but everybody was able to, by everybody, the other departments, the stakeholders, when it was implemented, they liked the system, and it's showing good progress as we speak, or to date. You can chime in, Jason.
Okay. So I would just recommend in today's environment, so first of all, the City of Cincinnati, we have replaced all pencil and paper testing with the eSkill system. So what I would recommend for you is to do the same. And what I would suggest is just talk to your managers a little bit and decide which of those do you want to administer remotely and which of those do you want to still administer in-house, just to make sure that everybody's satisfied with the outcomes. But other than that, I think it's been a great boon. I like using it both ways. It's been pretty tremendous.
Thank you for sharing that. Another question that's come in, how have you used eSkill's custom questions for various roles?
With the custom, eSkill custom, I love that version where if I want to customize any test questions that I made with the subject matter experts or hiring managers, I'm able to dump those custom questions into eSkill editor, and we can still use our exam questions that we developed, and also using eSkill's custom questions item bank, which is terrific when it comes to assessing administrative skills and clerk typist skills.
That's great. It sounds like you've really been able to combine and create skills tests and exams that are customized for each individual role across a lot of different types of roles across the city. That's great. So, yes, you've speeded up the time it takes to assess and recruit somebody, which means that you've shortened that time cycle, you've reduced the amount of mishires that you've made, but how have the hiring managers across the city reacted to the skills test results?
So the hiring managers love that feature where candidates can have the opportunity to fill out feedback or concerns during each question, or while they're taking the exam, they can fill out a feedback for each question. So as far as results, they like that feature where myself will collaborate with them to talk about the test questions and possibly update it if there needs to be any updates or if there's any concerns with a particular test question made by the candidate. But they love that feature where they can get insight on what candidates, I guess the perspective behind what the candidate during the exam. They like how that feature helps them where candidates can provide that feedback.
Jason, any other feedback that you've heard from managers?
Yeah, so this is a slightly different take on it, but I think it's a valuable one. One of the things that the managers like is that eSkill, because it is a stable platform, we don't have those technical issues. Also, we've got this great bank of questions that we can pull from that are good, solid questions that don't get a lot of negative feedback from candidates. And I think what managers like is that when they get feedback from candidates, was like when they're told, hey, that was a good test, the testing process was smooth, and eSkill does help a lot with that. So I think that's one of the big takeaways that they have. They're just less complaints about the process and so forth using eSkill.
So it's really improved the candidate experience, which makes it easier on the managers, not to mention that the process is faster and easier all being online than what you used to have with Scantron. That's really powerful. If there are any other questions, you can put them in the chat. We're excited to have you both with us today, Jason and Nosa. Just real quick, what's been your personal experience of using the platform? Do you feel like it's easy to use, or you know, you mentioned that working with Megan, your client service manager, was really helpful, but has it improved your experience as the administrator of the system as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think eSkills definitely showed us some good deed here. But as far as like getting in contact with Megan and how she's able to help us, really, she's so helpful that she'll complete and grade the whole exam for us. But so that's how much we value eSkills.
Thank you. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your valuable time today and sharing the story about how the City of Cincinnati has improved recruiting success and efficiency and the candidate experience. We've just loved having you with us today. For those of you attending the webinar, look forward to our next webinars. There's another one coming up next month. We'll be sending out emails for that, and have a wonderful day.